For example, okay, look, let's say education spending is abysmally low. Let's just say, for example, right now that state spending on education is a given. Let's not like given that assumption, you know, wouldn't it be beneficial to say double or triple the education budget and make sure that it reaches these underprivileged people, that they're competent enough to a certain level that they're able to do well in these exams and get into the university, so that they're not falling behind, because it seems like a band-aid solution, this reservation. So what do you think about like bottom up spending more on primary school and middle school education for these kids, bringing their mathematics skills up, helping them stay in schools, things like that?
Well, the libertarian, what the libertarian solution to is. But I think that the budgets are fine. State
Interesting.
budgets are fine.
Okay. So you don't have
Yeah.
to increase it. There's no need to invest. Okay.
No, just shift it to education vouchers.
You want to give private vouchers so that people can use the money to spend wherever they want. So it's like a school
Yeah.
choice thing. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. The school will compete with each other, and whichever is the best one will get the most vouchers. That's the simplistic solution. It can be done in phases, and a curious statistic. Yeah, uh, we're talking about how if we say that education is the solution to getting lower caste people out of their plight. So a curious statistic was quoted one of these reservationist guys, and he said that the average score now, the difference between the average score of upper caste, lower caste, and backward classes is hardly 2 to 3%.
Oh, that's it. Okay.
So,
Interesting.
are you getting my point?
So is it because their upper caste folks are going like due is the standards, what's happening to the standards on average? That's what I'm wondering. Because
Yeah.
is the standard going up and therefore they're equalizing, or is it like, you know, going
No,
down?
the point is that if everyone is almost scoring the same, then caste is not a deterministic factor.
Okay, so what do you think is the determining factor? It's not, I mean, I'm sure that it's not. There should be something else as well. So what do you think it is?
Individual differences. Oh, that's all it's about.
Okay, so some people are just more capable than others. Yeah, I mean
Yeah,
that's
that's
a
all.
reasonable thing to
It's like,
say, because you're not going to be good at everything, right? Like to pretend that everybody's equally talented in every field is just not realistic. Okay, I get that. So
yeah,
then, actually one thing that surprises me is that the scores are so close. That
yeah.
but then like how does that square with the fact that folks in the reserved categories of saying they have uh let's say a lower bar to entry because they have more percentage of seats reserved.
Sorry, I didn't get your question.
So basically, if you get say rank 50,000, you'd still
Yeah,
qualify for a seat in the university because there's a more proportion of seats for a certain community, right?
yeah.
So then let's say that 20, 30 of those students with say 25 plus thousand rank get into say an IIT, and then
Mhm.
they have to ultimately compete with this AIR 10 or 20 guy. Wouldn't they
Yeah,
like be at a disadvantage right from the start?
yeah. That's what the reservation pro reservation argument arguers miss. That and the policy has been tested universally. It has been tested in Malaysia. It has been tested in Sri Lanka. I think Nigeria as well, and in the United States as well. The affirmative action, as you call it.
Hmm.
So it has been a cluster failure everywhere because yeah, the exact problem that you pointed out, that if you the speed of learning is different when a single difference in percentile or IQ or a 10-point change in IQ isn't exact is like temperature that the 40 degrees Celsius isn't exactly double as hot as 20 degrees Celsius.
Yes.
Similarly 150 isn't just 50% more intelligent than with the normal IQ that is 100.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah.
So And when you compound these differences in speed of learning over a period of maybe say 4 years, the difference becomes so huge that the person just gives up. He's like, what? However good I am, I just cannot compete with them. He'll always be at the bottom of the class, and then he starts attributing his failure with to his caste, because I am somehow I have been discriminated uh,
Yeah.
behind the scenes, and that's why I can't compete with them.
Mm. Yeah,
The
yeah, yeah.
system, the
That's
system
like,
perpetuates. Yeah,
well, then, that's why doesn't it help to give them a strong foundation? Because let's say you give vouchers, how would you, like, who would it impact the most? Would it impact, like, would it reach the people that it has to reach? And, like, will they get the best education that way? Because standards have to be enforced, right? Like, the earlier you enforce the standards, the better. Say, for example, take mathematics education. Problems
hmm.
in mathematics education happen probably around middle school, where some things go too fast for some students and they miss something,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then it builds up on one another, right? And all of a sudden you don't know how to do trigonometry. Then they ask you to prove something and you're lost. That's it. So, and then you start getting a hate for the subject. So all of this, like, I suspect that, like, government schools have not been doing such a great job. Okay, so we know that. So obviously they're not a be all end
They
all
can't.
solution, right? Like,
They can't.
yeah. So I mean, how do you, and like, I mean, I can grant you one thing, that, at least hypothetically, these private schools, they're going to compete, they're going to do better. I mean, not even hypothetically, there's evidence to back it up. Private schools are performing better. But then if you look at the other side of the coin, the Kendriya Vidyalaya system has been really praised for its educational quality, no?
Yeah, we can agree somewhat. Yeah,
Yeah.
but not. Yeah, but it's not that scalable,
Okay, so okay, I understand. Okay. Again, so that's the thing.
because education is a state subject.
Hmm. Okay, then it would be up to the states, right? So, do you know about Delhi's education system right now? Do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah.
Are they doing
Mm,
well?
well, one of my cousin sister was a government teacher in the Delhi school, so I'm pretty aware of the ground reality. They just lowered the standards
Okay,
mostly.
okay,
Yeah, they
interesting.
cleaned things up and built some stuff, and but no, they just have mostly lowered the standards, so students start looking good on paper.
Hmm. Okay, yeah.
You know, the incentive structure isn't right. What I'm trying to point out, you just need to fix the incentive structure. If the teacher is incentivized just to uh, just to raise the score, he'll raise the scores. He doesn't care whether the student learns or not. He's not incentivized to educate the student. You go to school at 8:30 or whatever the time is, 7 o'clock, and you come back at 3:30 or 4 o'clock, whatever the time is. You don't care whether the student you are teaching learns it or not. You just the traditional is the Indian way is that even the punishment system has changed, so you can't slap the child. or, no, although I'm not promoting that, but
Hmm.
yeah. So the incentive structure is all bungled up. He just gets the salary and then goes away. He doesn't care what the student learns or not. And if government pressurizes him to meet targets, he just bump the numbers.
Hmm. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So no,
Yeah. This is a
I
problem again
more
of scale, I guess. Like, how do you measure things, right? What are the metrics of success? Right? How do you define
yeah.
them?
I think that you just need private competition. It will sort things out in itself, because the basic argument is that whoever provides the shitty service will not get a business anymore.
Hmm.
Uh, whether if you but in the government system you just provide. Well, my family is pretty much involved in government education, so
Hmm.
I'm from Haryana, so
Hmm.
almost all my relatives are in government education, so I'm pretty well aware. My one of my uncles is a block education officer,
Hmm.
so I'm pretty well aware that how much spending takes place. They are provided uniforms.
Okay.
They are taken on trips to faraway states, and They are, you are aware of that, they are midday meal.
They're what? Midday meals. Yeah. Okay. Hmm.
Yeah, and they have smart classes.
Hmm.
They have,
That's a big scam, I'm telling you. Smart classes.
yeah, yeah. So spending isn't much of a problem. But when you have teachers who just treat the main job of education as a side hustle as a source of income, and just come to the school, get the attendance, and then just run away
Yeah.
to whatever chore they have to handle, whether it is going to a farm or going to a shop or some
Wow.
private
So they
business. That,
actually do that, like in government schools, they're not held accountable?
yeah, yeah, to the extent that you can't even imagine. You are like, he just comes, especially I can't emphasize this enough that art education is a scam.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, the teacher just comes in, sits down, eats, gets his tea or something, just draws something on the board, and then just leaves after the first bell rings.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, he doesn't teach about chiaroscuro or who was Leonardo da Vinci or something like that. No, he has no bother of that. And same goes for the English education or mathematics education or everything like that. I think the solution would make, in spite of moving aside from making fun of that, the I think the on a test basis, if we can integrate online education and the work of NGOs,
Hmm.
we would have to modify the NGO structure so that they are not just clubs for upper class aunties, but yeah, I think some NGOs are doing pretty well, and and are very much cost effective at providing education. And young people are pretty much interested in educating children. I have,
They need to be, see, the thing is, how do you make it attractive for someone to come and become a teacher? Like NGOs, I've heard of some stories. They go to villages and teach and stuff like that, and
yeah,
they report positive
and
response.
their biggest obstacle is the government educators, not
Is it?
not the people themselves, but the government educators. So yeah, incentive structure changes that, then it can be done. Yeah. Uh, and first of all, I don't claim to be omniscient on all the problems, but I think the best the thing that will work is that we run a pilot program and so A/B testing, or simply that
Yes.
these places are using the voucher system and the engagement of the NGOs and etc. And these places are not. And then among that cluster that is using the voucher system, someone will succeed, some will fail, and then the ones who succeed will become a case study of how this can copy them. And once the system is well established, then we will expand its scale to all over the region.
That's a very
That's
interesting
how.
idea. Yeah. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, man. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Uh, you know,
I
uh,
don't know how. These are simple problems. These are simple policy problems. I mean, you just fix the incentives and yeah, but the main problem is that the politician isn't interested in this because he won't get a vote for it. Maybe a Delhi politician like Kejriwal can claim that yeah, I want to fix the education system because Delhi has such a, the people feel the problem of education there. But when you go to the states and villages, the primary problem isn't education but lack of job opportunities.
mhm.
He isn't concerned that whether my child is getting educated or not because the system worked when the government was the employer, but the government is no longer the employer. You need employment. So the real problem that needs to be confronted is the employment portion, not the education portion, because market will take care of the education. If you must be aware of Soho and Sridhar Vembu.
Yes, yeah, Sridhar Bambu, yes, yes. Yeah.
Yeah, look at what brilliant thing he has done. He has reached out to villages and he is teaching entrepreneur, teaching. He has built up his own schools and
Yeah.
directly recruiting from the school he has built.
Yeah. Yep, 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 yep. Yeah, if we can do such, I mean, that is like the pinnacle example of decentralization and training, to make effective individuals. That is, Yeah, I mean, I hope that that actually becomes a wider practice. And on the way, again, these incentive structures weed out the more inefficient ones. Like that is again is like the operating principle of the libertarian ideology, I guess, just natural selection,
Yeah.
right? So, very interesting. So, I mean, like I want to get to